Hello everyone, back tuning into today's first video. We're going to have a look at the weather next 10 to 14 days for today's first video. So day 10 will take us to around the 17th of December. We'll be able to extend out beyond that. We extended GFS and ECM ensembles running to around a couple of weeks, and it's getting us very, very close to Christmas now in the 2-week time frame. And we'll have a look at CFS-V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks as well. Got a lot to show. We'll begin with stratosphere data as well. So we've got a lot to show you in this one. So sit back, relax and enjoy. And I shall get on it for you very shortly. Just to say that tonight we're going to have the next Christmas update. I think we're up to update number 16 now for Christmas. So that will be coming up for you tonight at GavsWeatherVids. But starting us off is our 10 to 14 down. We're going to begin with some pictures, actually, that we've got to share with you. So beginning up the GavsWeatherVids Discord, first of all. So these were shared by VXLKS. I think these are from Dublin. So a couple of nice sort of sunset skies pics from Dublin. This one also from VXLKS, freezing fog today in Dublin. This was shared a couple of days ago, but there is freezing fog around in parts of the UK today. Where I am, it's been like really thick fog and, you know, frosty, foggy morning here. So yeah, I've had some fog and frost, the gruesome twosome in Dublin. Right, let's scroll on down. I haven't got time to show all of those, but thank you so much to the XLKS for sharing those. Capture media, fog is so heavy here, so there we go, thick fog there. These from Sweet Treats, yesterday's hike to the Peak District, wow. Snow hanging around in the Peak District. Thank you so much to Sweet Treats for sharing those. Proper old wintry conditions up in the peaks in the North Midlands yesterday. So thank you so much for sharing those, Sweet Treats. More fog from Dublin. Lewis White shared that picture. Thank you so much, Lewis, for sharing that one. Shrine, above the fog, Howe Summit in Dublin, above the fog. Wow, that's a great picture. Well done, Shrine, for that one. Samuel Bentley shared these, so thank you so much to Samuel Bentley. I don't know where these are from. Oh, Bridport, Dorset. That's from Bridport, Dorset. Thank you so much, Samuel, for sharing those. Nice wintry morning. And Irish Durham, 3 days of sub-zero temperatures in Ireland. Wow, look at that. Freezing cold over in the Republic. Thank you so much to Irish Durham for sharing those with us. These were shared on the comment box at GavsWeatherVids.com. So they were from the Discord. This from the comment box at GavsWeatherVids.com. This from my friend Brian Mack from a couple of nights ago where it was snowing in Belfast. Look at that. Proper snowy night. A few nights ago over in Belfast. Covering the snow over there. So we did not get any snow, you know, on Friday and Friday night and Thursday night, Friday night as well. We didn't get any, so we just got cold rain here, but it wasn't that far away, was it? So thank you so much, Brian, for sharing those. This one from this morning from Shiram, proper old foggy start in the Midlands. So thank you, Shiram, for sharing that. Yeah, it's very similar conditions here this morning as well. Really thick fog. This one from my good friend Andy, again from the peaks up in Glossop. Again showing, you know, snow on the ground, and it's properly cold up there in sort of the North Midlands in the Peak District sort of area, and around Buxton and all those sort of areas. Very, very cold. So thank you so much to Andy for sharing that one to the comment box at GavsWeatherVids. This was emailed by Liam Kenwood. Liam went on a little bit of a snow chase. Liam's in Maidstone. Went on a little bit of a snow chase a couple of days ago to find some snow. Found it in the North Downs. So, yeah, snow cover. Snow cover in the North Downs. Look at that. Proper covering of snow. Remember, many people did not see anything like this at any point last winter. So we are less than a week into meteorological winter, and there has been snow, more snow for a lot of people than there was at any point last winter. So just goes to show things are a little bit different, I think, this winter. This one from Thomas Green was emailed. So Thomas Green emailed this one. Snow in Kings Lynn. There was some snow in Kings Lynn a couple of days ago. And these from Tom Pentlow from Leicestershire. So it wasn't that far away. This is from Friday night, I think. It really wasn't that far away from me in Northamptonshire, was it? Look at that, covering of snow in Leicestershire from Tom Pentlow. A real covering of snow there, just like probably less than 40, 50 miles from where I am, and all I got was sort of cold rain. So just goes to show you how localised snow can be, especially in these very, very marginal situations. I suspect where Tom is probably a little bit higher up than me, maybe over 200 metres. And yeah, so that was it. Snow there and just cold rain here in West Northants. But congratulations, Tom, and congratulations to anybody who got snow and was waiting for it. I'll be sharing some more pictures tomorrow. Ones have been shared with me on Twitter, on the GavsWeatherVids Twitter page. So, yeah, there'll be some more pictures of the snow coming up in tomorrow's 10 to 14 day video update. If you'd like to have your weather pictures featured within the videos, there are various ways you can do it. You can email them to us at GavsWeatherVids@gmail.com. Email them to me directly. You can share them with us on our Facebook and Twitter pages. You can post them to the comment box at GavsWeatherVids.com and also to the GavsWeatherVids Discord server. You can find the link to Discord in the description with the videos. At YouTube, thank you so much, everybody, for sharing your weather pictures. And as I said, we'll show you some more from Twitter. Will be shared with us on Twitter tomorrow. Right, let's begin this video with development stratosphere-wise then. So, this is how temperatures are currently looking at 10 HPA against the long-term average. So, of course, at this time of year, the stratosphere should be getting colder. At 10 HPA, we should be seeing the temperature cooling down to reach like its lowest point, which is any time now through to Christmas, really, and then the trend is upwards as we go through the rest of winter and on into the spring, reaching the peak, of course, in the summer. The black line shows where temperatures currently are at 10 HPA in the stratosphere over North Pole. And we're just there. So we have actually seen a little bit of a warming of the stratosphere over the past few days. The lowest point was around here, around minus 77, I think. Now we're back up very close to around minus 80, which isn't too far from average. So, yeah, a slight warming of the stratosphere has taken place, actually, over North Pole. That may get colder again, though, over the coming days. So go a little bit low down to 30 HPA. You can see that there, the stratospheric temperature is very cold, though. So it's down to underneath minus 80 now, well below the long-term average. That's closer to the troposphere. Now, when you've got a very cold temperature in the stratosphere like that over North Pole, you would normally associate that with a strong polar vortex and increased westerlies. We have not got that at the moment, though. What we've actually got is quite a bit of northern blocking and a weakened sort of polar vortex within the troposphere at the moment. So we have got a bit of a disconnect between the stratosphere and the troposphere right now, and it looks like that's going to, it looks like that's set to continue for the time being as well. There's no sign of the polar vortex really ramping up westerlies in the foreseeable future, which is like the next week to 10 days, really. Although we are going to be turning milder later this week and into weekend with some wet weather, but it's not going to be like I'll show you the charts in a little bit later in the video, but it's not going to be like a traditional sort of zonal onslaught such as we had last winter. So I'll show you the charts in a moment anyway, but a bit of a disconnect between the stratosphere and the troposphere. So this is how the temperature forecast is looking at the moment with the GFS. We're starting on the 15th of December. So we've got these blue and purple colours here. This is at metroseal.fr, by the way. We've got these blue and purple colours. That's like the cold temperatures at 10 HPA. We're looking to get a stratospheric warming, maybe a sudden stratospheric warming. That's where the temperature shoots up by around 40, 50, 60 degrees in a couple of days, and reverses the zonal winds. So cold temperatures, colder than they are now, actually, over North Pole as we go through to the middle of December. Let's see if there's any signs of the warming. So we have got this warming developing just here, again, over Siberia. The GFS is playing around with that quite a lot at the moment. A minor sudden stratospheric warming occurring over Siberia as we go through into the extended range and running up towards Christmas. I mean, this is not what I would classify as a sudden stratospheric warming, but it is a minor warming of the stratosphere. We keep these blue colours, the cold temperature 10 HA, particularly on our side of the pole, though, going through to as far as we go, which is the 23rd of December. Notice how that's being stretched. Notice how those blue colours are being stretched and pulled, which is a sign that the polar vortex is already coming under stress at its roots in the stratosphere. So that's looking quite interesting. But I said yesterday I'd show you what a proper sudden stratospheric warming looks like. So this is from the 1st of January 2013. So the first week of January 2013 had a very, very intense sudden stratospheric warming that obliterated, absolutely destroyed the polar vortex at its roots, and was eventually followed by an increasingly cold and wintry winter, and especially so into March 2013, which I'm sure you can all remember, which was frozen and snow-covered much of the time. And he went on into April, even April 2013, the first half was very, very cold and frozen. So this is kind of thing we're looking for. So this is New Year's Day 2013. Already a very significant warming of the stratosphere. Sudden stratospheric warming is taking place over Siberia, not yet into like the North Pole itself. Let's go through to around the 4th of January 2013. That's how it's looking. So the sudden stratospheric warming is intensifying with those bright red colours starting to infiltrate into the North Pole as well. 5th of January 2013 looks like that. So again, very, very intense warming of the stratosphere going on and moving into the North Pole also. Let's go through to around the 7th of January 2013. And there we go. The warming is now into the pole. So the stratospheric warming is now into the pole. The blue colours are being pushed down into the mid-latitudes, being displaced, if you like. And what eventually happens with this sudden stratospheric warming is that the polar vortex just gets obliterated. Look at that. This is 9th of January 2013. Notice how those blue colours are just fading away and being replaced by the yellows and the oranges. And yeah, look at that. We get a split of the polar vortex and basically an obliteration of the polar vortex at its roots in the stratosphere. See how the blue colours have split into two, with one lobe going over towards the Pacific side of Canada and another one down into the Atlantic Ocean. And essentially we've had a split and an obliteration of the polar vortex at its roots. So that's one of the most dramatic sudden stratospheric warmings that we've seen for a very long time. And so it goes on into the middle of January as well. And as I say, it was eventually followed by some extremely cold weather, especially late in the winter of 2012, 2013. So I thought I'd just show you that. That's the kind of thing looking for. And it does put into perspective, of course, what we see here running up towards Christmas, which is a minor warming of stratosphere, but nothing anywhere near as dramatic as that. But we do see that the polar vortex is being pulled and stretched there by the 23rd of December. He's definitely coming under major strain. And yeah, so of course we'll continue to monitor the stratosphere and what's going on at 10 HPA over the coming weeks and months. Of course we will. We always do in the winter. Sensing temperature is looking like this. So the CET is currently standing at 4.3. And by the way, with this disconnect between the troposphere and the stratosphere, of course, it's possible that if you want cold weather, you possibly don't want a sudden stratospheric warming, actually, because at the moment, we have got this disconnect between the troposphere and the stratosphere. So, you know, we're not doing too badly for blocking at the moment without a sudden stratospheric warming. So I mean, maybe if you want cold weather and blocking, you just want to keep things going as they are, really, without anything else happening to shake things up. But anyway, we'll see what happens there. Right, CT is currently at 4.3, an anomaly of 1 degree below average. That's provisional to yesterday, the 6th of December. That's going to fall further in the coming days. It's been very frosty and cold in the CT zone. It's going to be a cold day today. Tonight will be cold, frosty and foggy again. Be another cold day tomorrow. So that's going to go down further over the next few days before probably stabilising in the second half this week and maybe starting to tip back up again as we go through into the weekend. No, we don't want that, do we want that? Right, so let's get rid of that and go to there. Right, these are the 500 millibar height non-flowcharts from Penn State University for the next week to 10 days. We've got the ECMWF on the top, and the GFS, which we will have a look in a moment, is on the bottom. So 500 millibars is now in actually high pressure, low pressure, are being moved around by the jet stream running above. Red and orange extrapolate to above average heights, which is high pressure, blue to below average heights, which is low pressure. This gets us to around the 17th of December, so just beyond the middle of the month. You can see that with the ECM, we've got this trough of below average height sinking to our south, along with the jet stream as well. The jet stream is slipping southwards, along with that trough of low pressure. At the same time, of course, we've got blocking to the north and also to the east as well. So the ECM goes milder between around sort of days 5 to 7 or 8. But then as it will come to the very end, as the jet stream starts to move southwards again, just hinting that things could be about to go colder once more from the north with the ECMWF. GFS looks like this. Is very, very similar. Again, we've got blocking to the north. We've got blocking high pressure right over top of the pole. Again, that is without any sort of sudden stratospheric warming. So we have got this disconnect between the troposphere and the stratosphere right now that you do get sometimes. And someone asked me, you know, what causes that, and I'm not really sure why that happens. It's just something that we do observe at times. But December, to remember, in 2010, did not have any sudden stratospheric warming, despite having huge amounts of northern blocking. So it is something that can occur sometimes, that you will get a disconnect between the troposphere and the stratosphere. We are in like a westerly QBO, but with an EC QBO in the stratosphere. So whether that's something to do with it, I don't know. Right, so anyway, the GFS again has this low pressure sinking southwards, taking the jet stream with it, blocking to the north, threatening to start trying to pull in some very cold northerly and easterly winds. We had a very, very cold and wintry midnight GFS run turn up this morning, but I'm going to show you in a couple of minutes. I'll be showing you that in a couple of minutes. And yeah, so, you know, with northern blocking and the jet stream sinking southwards, we could go very, very cold at some point. More about that in a second. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles the next couple of weeks. The red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average, and it leads today. So we're colder than average at the moment. Going to generally stay, dates are on bottom of the chart, of course, going to generally stay quite chilly, really, through the rest of this week. Over weekend, to the early part of next week, we do get a little bit of tick up in the temperature. But there is a cooling trend that is in evidence here as we start running up towards Christmas. That's this period just there. I think we have got what we would classify as a cooling trend during this period running up towards Christmas, albeit with a lot of scatter. So we've got milder ensemble members up here. We've got some very cold ensemble members down here. These are cold outliers. Does include the operational GFS midnight run as well, by the way. So again, I'm going to show you that in a moment. It's that thick green line just there. Notice it is an outlier. It's a cold outlier, but it does go very, very cold just before Christmas today. And as I say, although not as dramatic as that with most of these ensemble members, there is a little bit of a cooling trend actually as we move towards Christmas after this rather milder interval that we've got just here. Precipitation wise, it's going to turn more unsettled, I think. So a couple more days, 2-3 days of dry weather to continue really, but then as we go through like the second half of this week into weekend on into next week, there will be increasing precipitation, some heavy rain to come probably over weekend into next week. And if the air starts getting cold enough running up towards Christmas, of course some of that might begin to turn wintry again. Temperature anomalies from the 7th to the 15th of December are going to be very close to, or maybe ever so slightly above average. So we have got some milder weather to come at the end of this week and into weekend. Precipitation anomalies, again, just very close to average, really. This is the latest wind flow map from earthnullschool.net showing that we're still, on the cold side of jet stream. Jet stream is down here, going in towards southern parts of France and northern Spain. So we're still really bringing in the air from the north. But later in the week, we will see like west and southwest winds beginning to come back. And so that will start to lift the temperature. But for the time being, it does remain pretty cold, actually. So this is how the UK Met Office midnight run is looking, with low pressure coming in off the Atlantic on Thursday. That low pressure is struggling to get in, and you see that via the elongation in the isobars just there, telling us that there is a little bit of a stall of weather system going on. But it gets a push on Friday as this deep low starts to move in from the Atlantic, and so that turns us increasingly wet, but also rather milder as we come to the end of the week and into the weekend. That's how we look as we get to the end of the UK Met Office run today, which is to Sunday the 13th of December. With low pressure then starting to move back in from off the Atlantic Ocean. Winds are in from a west-southwest direction, so it is going to be turning milder over the weekend. Right, have a look at this midnight GFS run then. Just have a look at this. This is for Thursday, and again, we've got this weather system coming in off the Atlantic. It's struggling to get in as it comes up against the Siberian high with the ridge into Scandinavia. It does get pushed through, though, as we go through the end of the week and into the weekend. It turns increasingly unsettled and milder as well, though, with low pressure rattling in from off the Atlantic. So we go into a wetter and windier spell of weather around the middle part of December. Winds shifting round to like a southerly direction early next week. That could bring in some very mild temperatures into the south actually early next week, possibly going up into double digits. But you'll see that it is not a traditional sort of spell of mild, wet and windy weather. It's not a traditional spell of zonal weather like we had through last winter. We still have relatively high heights actually to the north up here. Certainly no particularly strong polar vortex. Still with some ridging over Scandinavia as well. And it's just not like a traditional spell of zonal weather, although it is milder and wetter. Now, as we move up towards day 10, as we saw on the 500 millibar high tonic flow charts, we start finding this area of low pressure sinking southwards as heights continue to rise to the north. So then as we get towards around the 18th of December, just beyond day 10, the low pressure is slipping away to the south. The heights are rising to the north, and that's connecting towards an area of high pressure that's actually building out of the Arctic. Very cold air is plunging into Scandinavia and northern Europe, and what happens is that we eventually go into proper northern blocking. And so look at this as we start running up towards Christmas. We've got a big old Scandinavian high setting up and a very severely cold pool of air sitting across western Russia and northeastern Europe. And as the winds turns into the east, these very cold upper air temperatures start to head into western Europe. Look at the extent of those cold upper air temperatures there. So by the time we get through to the 21st of December, the upshot is that we're bringing in a bitterly cold easterly wind, and we'll be dragging in lots of heavy snow showers, or maybe even longer spells of snow from the east via this extensive northern blocking. Look at those upper air temperatures. That is beasts from the east levels, really. When you get to like -10, at 850 HPA. That is what you would classify as a beast from the east. And what a run this is. Just like 2 or 3 days before Christmas, the beast from the east is unleashed, and we go bitterly cold and drag in heavy snow from the east on those beastly easterlies. Incredible midnight GFS run. This. So look at that. The -10 cells ice flooding the country would be bringing in loads and loads of heavy snow showers with it, as well as we get to the end of the GFS run, which is to Wednesday the 23rd of December, the eve of Christmas Eve. Is cold and bitterly cold, severely cold, below freezing day and night, with a gale force easterly wind blowing across England and Wales, and loads of heavy snow being dragged in from the east as well. And what a Christmas that would be. There's no quick way out of that, so that will still be very cold and snowy over Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and Boxing Day as well, probably, because that's kind of levels of blocking, but there's no quick way out of that. So, you would be able to say that would be a very, very cold and snowy Christmas. It's just one run of the GFS. As we saw, it is like an outlier, so let's go back to it. That's it there, that green line just there on the graph, and you can see that it is quite clearly a cold outlier. There are like 2 or 3 other ensemble members that are doing something similar. But there we go. So GFS Midnight Run did produce a proper white Christmas, and lots and lots of heavy snow with that as well. So what a run that was. A beast from the east for Christmas. How would you like that, everybody? Let's have a look at the 6 there, Ben. This is the very latest. Let's see what that's showing. So again, low pressure in off the Atlantic, bringing bouts of heavy rain with it into the end of weekend, the weekend. Milder temperatures as well. That lasts into the early part of next week too. Then the Atlantic begins to run out of steam. Through the middle of next week, we start to get higher pressure building in as we move to day 10, which is Friday the 18th of December, just beyond day 10. Got some high pressure building in. The ridge is trying to get to Scandinavia. On this GFS 6Z as well. It doesn't get to Scandinavia. It sort of sits over sort of Western and Northern Europe. But it is having a go. So the trend is probably maintained in terms of what the high pressure is trying to do. It just doesn't successfully pull off like northern blocking and an easterly. But to be honest, the ridge is trying to get to Scandinavia. So you probably, because when you look at these extended charts, you are only really looking for trends. So you probably say the GFS 6Z maintains the trend of the midnight run, albeit it is nowhere near as cold or snowy as the GFS midnight run was. As we run to Christmas, that's how we look. Again, you see the idea all the time is for this ridge to be trying to build northwards. It's very, very interesting. Although it's nowhere near as cold as the midnight GFS, it's probably more sensible, more in line with what will actually happen in the end. It would still be quite cold for running up towards Christmas. There could well be frost with that and a seasonal feel. But the main thing, the main interest is that the high is always trying to reach northwards. And if this high pressure keeps trying to go northwards, particularly combined with this Siberian high that's sitting over Western Russia, eventually, sooner or later, these ridges will get together and pull off a proper Scandinavian high and an easterly wind. It's inevitable that if this high pressure keeps trying to go north and connect to the Siberian high, that eventually something is going to happen. So quite interesting GFS 6Z, even though it's nowhere near as cold or snowy as the midnight run was. GM looks like this. So again, Atlantic's breaking through as we go through the end of week and into the weekend with bouts of heavy rain and milder with southwesterly winds as well. And then the GM actually goes rather flatter up to day 10, which is to the 17th of December. So that's one of the that's one of the milder model runs today. Even this one though, you would say is probably trying to send that ridge a little bit north, but nowhere near as much as the GFS is doing. So that keeps things pretty mild up to day 10. And then the ECM looks like that. So again, low pressure is breaking through from off the Atlantic, bringing spells of rain and looking very unsettled as well. As we go through into the early part of next week, again, further bouts of rain through the early part of the week before the low pressure sort of sinks away to the south as we move up towards day 10. We're starting to get some ridging building through northern and western Europe. It just looks as though by around sort of days 9 and 10, the Atlantic is running out of steam already, and just generally sort of ridging is developing in these sort of areas where I've got these squiggly lines. We've got ridging, but it is trying to get going as the Atlantic is running out of steam. That's the 17th of December. Maybe if we went further on, we would see, we'd see things getting more blocked from that. This is the precipitation forecast based on the ECM run from Tometeo.com. So tonight we've got some rain and snow coming into the north. Snow could fall to low levels across Scotland for a time early this evening, then turn back to rain later. Generally looking quite wet in the north. Could be some wintry showers down in the southeast as well. A little bit of rain, sleet and snow through like northern England and into North Wales and the Midlands tomorrow. And then we start to bring the Atlantic through later on in the week. So this is bringing wet and windy weather in off the Atlantic, and the temperatures are turning milder as well. So becoming milder, wetter and windier through the second half of this week and into the weekend, and that carries on into in towards day 10 with further bouts of rain coming through before things eventually start to dry out a little bit as the Atlantic starts to run out of puff and starts to run out of steam. We begin to turn things drier as we move up towards day 10. Still though with some showery bursts of rain. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10, which gets us to the 17th of December. We have 24 members of the ECM ensembles with northern blocking to the north and a ridge to the east. Low pressure beginning to weaken out to the west. This includes the operational run. So basically the Atlantic's running out of steam and we're turning towards higher pressure with those options. We have 15 members of the ECM ensembles again, bringing low pressure in from off the Atlantic with a westerly wind, bouts of rain and generally milder temperatures, albeit combined with northern blocking. And then 12 have low pressure out in the middle of the Atlantic. High pressure is ridging to our east. We've got high pressure ridging to the east, so that is trying to settle us down and potentially start pulling some colder air from the east. Let's see how things look in 2 weeks' time. These are the options that we've got as we run up towards Christmas. So we have, let's change the colour, we have 21 members of the ECM ensembles with a shallow trough of low pressure over the country, high pressure to our north and west. That's going to try and pull in cold air from the north. 12 with high pressure sitting to the east, low pressure to the west, so that's going to be bringing up like a southerly southeasterly, turning anticyclonic. 9 with high pressure to the north of Scotland, trying to pull in cold air from the north to northeast. 9 just here with very extensive northern blocking, large area of high pressure from Greenland to northern Scandinavia. Low pressure just here and just here. That's probably the coldest option, bringing in the wind from the north or the northeast. That's probably similar to what the GFS midnight run was doing. That's the coldest option down there, I think. Lastly, the CFS V2, these are 500 millibar heights broken down into week periods. The first week period takes from the 7th to the 13th of December. The coming week has low pressure over top of the country. High pressure is in the middle of the North Atlantic. We're unsettled and cold initially, becomes milder later on. Week 2 looks like that. It is the 14th to the 20th of December with above average heights, high pressure as like a wall of high pressure really sitting to our east, low pressure to our west. That's probably going to be relatively mild, but if the wind was just to tilt back to southeast a little bit, you start dragging in colder continental air. Week 3 is the 21st to 27th of December with high pressure to the east and, starting to pull in something colder from the continent, probably with that. Although it's not a classic Scandinavian high. And then week 4 is the 28th of December to the 3rd of January with high pressure then centering across West Europe. Low pressure is away to the northwest, mainly anticyclonic. I'm probably trying to get a little bit milder as well, with winds starting to come in from off the Atlantic Ocean. So nothing particularly cold and snowy from that CFS run for the Christmas period. Right, so if you enjoyed this video, then please can you click like, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids, and let us know in the comments what you think. We've been putting on loads and loads of new subscribers recently. We are over 8,500 subscribers now. I think we're at around 8,530. So the subs are moving very quickly, which means we're putting on lots and lots of new subscribers. Loads of new people are joining the channel, and so if you are new, if you have subbed, you are new, please leave us a comment and let us know what you think about our content, and make sure you are subbed. If you aren't subbed yet, then make sure you subscribe to be able to see future weather content. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Right, been a very long video, 35 minutes. Wow, that is long for a Monday, but we did have a lot to discuss, didn't we? So beastly Easterlies on the midnight GFS run. Will we see any signs of that on our for Christmas? Will we see any signs of that for our latest Christmas update that we're going to be doing for you tonight? You'll find out around 7, 8 o'clock this evening. I can't wait to do the 16th Christmas update and see what it's showing. For this one, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.